also affecting the heart. Whatever is affecting the mind, the heart, and the spirit will eventually affect the body, and it won't be healthy. So reconciliation would mean healing of the spirit, healing of the mind, healing of the heart, and healing of the body. And for this, we know we can heal ourselves. For our people to heal, we need our own people to heal ourselves. Because Washiru, the white people, cannot heal us. They don't know how to heal. When you have a headache, you go to a doctor and you tell them about your headache. The doctor will prescribe medication for you. Not for you, but for the symptom, to treat the symptom, not you. You take that pill, that medication, your headache will go away. Medicine wears out, headache come back. Doctors will say, that's why doctors will say, once you take this medicine, you got to take it for the rest of your life. So they have treatments for everything, but for healing, we have to depend on our elders and our people to do the healing. And for us to be part of the system in education, in justice, in child welfare, in every area of life, to educate our neighbors here that we signed a treaty with. They are also treaty. Reconciliation would mean a lot of hard work on our part. And reconciliation would also mean for them sometimes to change their ways. A lot of things that are written is not good for us. It was written in a way that didn't include our culture, our traditions, our values, and our ways. And there's a lot of things they don't know about us. We have to teach them. We have to teach them about reconciliation. We talk about treaties. We have to teach them about treaties. We have to teach them about the Indian Act. We have to teach them about residential school. We have to teach them about child welfare. What happened to our people. And we have to teach them about Child's Council Hospital. Because I know one of my aunties went up there. She went to council when I was a little kid. She had TB, and when she came back, they said they operated on her, so she couldn't have babies. They tied her to ropes. They did that to a lot of our people. A lot of our people under child welfare, they were taken away. I still have a nephew out there. I think he's almost 40 now. I haven't seen him in about 36, 37 years. Last time I saw him. And I think they might have changed his name or something happened. We can't find him on, even with the modern technology, YouTube, World Wide Web, and Google and everything. And also, they say, we have always given you everything. They haven't always given us everything. They have never given us a school. That's why you hear so much about residential schools. We never had schools in our communities. 1960, when John Diefenbaker was Prime Minister, he introduced what they call a Bill of Rights. That's when we became a people. That's when our people started qualified for social old age pension, they call it, family allowance. And even after the Bill of Rights, a lot of our war veterans didn't qualify for army pension or conscription. And the programs came into our reserves when Trudeau was Prime Minister. He introduced what they call social programming. That's when health services and daycare and all these programs that came on the reserve. And they haven't worked too good, but we still took them. So reconciliation is a lot of hard work. It depends on who's saying it, how they're saying it. It's going to take, I think, a lot of work on our part from our people to tell our story. And if they will listen, they will learn, and maybe they will look at us differently. Because for years now, I've heard people say, "Oh, you guys, you're lucky. You get tax-free dollars our tax dollars every year." We haven't always gotten our tax dollars. And also that we get everything for free. It's not true. A lot of our people work. They have good jobs. They work hard to get what they want. The only place where everything is free is if we stay on the reserve, but there's nothing on reserve. A lot of people live off the reserve. When you're living off the reserve, you're buying groceries, you're paying rent, you're paying utilities, buying groceries. Every time you buy something, you're paying a tax. Every time you stop at the service station, you're paying provincial tax, federal tax, and GST, everything. So they don't see that thing. So we have a lot of work to do, and we have a lot to educate, and I hope this thing made sense. But this thing is this medicine wheel, you can use it for graphs too. I tell the kids you can use it for graphs. A, B, C. And a lot of math in there. Fractions. Geometry. Algebra. Maybe even calculus. I know a lot of math I can do in my own language, but to use English and do the math, it's pretty hard for me. But I hope I made sense, and I hope it can help you a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for sharing that chart with us. So then to address the other subjects of, let's say maybe social ELA, English language arts, wellness, and fine arts, is there anything else that you'd like to contribute to address those subjects in terms of what we could include for Indigenous ways of knowing?
In social, I think social studies, we can use some of our stories to educate them. I think we need to start writing books and doing what she's doing, videotaping. And we gotta start making CDs and making presentations as elders and as a people. But in English and language arts, I wouldn't know too much because
Storytelling?
yeah, storytelling. English is a funny language. When I say something in my own language, I say mini humatat. But when you say it in English, it comes out backwards. I will get some water. But when I say it in Stony, I say the water first and then the action after. Yeah. And it's kind of a funny language, and sometimes you don't know what to say. I went to a court once to be interpreter for some people, and this Crown prosecutor asked this guy, and he said, "Have you stopped beating up your wife yet?" If he said no, it meant he was beating his wife, he hasn't stopped. And if he said yes, it meant he was beating his wife. He had stopped. So he asked me, what should I do? I said, don't answer. And I told the judge to, can we get the guy to rephrase the question, because it's a trick question.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's why they call it fork tongue language.
Is there any other information on Indigenous ways of knowing that you would like to see included in curriculum?
Geography. Because we have names for all the mountains, the lakes, the rivers, landmarks, and all the areas that had Indian names. We still refer to some places with some mountains and hills and rivers with Indian names as a people. So probably geography would be nice, and the other thing is archaeology. Archaeology is something that that needs to be well. Usually they have anthropologists or sociologists or all these people interpret everything. Sometimes they should get our people to do the interpretation.
Okay.
Because we know about it. And geology. A geologist, what's a geologist?
Studies rocks.
We know about rocks. We know which rock to use to make the arrowhead. We know which rock to use to make the pipe. We know which rock to use to make a tomahawk. We know which rock to put in a rattle. We know which rock to use for all kinds of things. We use for sweats and stuff like that. Because if you don't know the rocks, it's sometimes you might have a toxic rock that you heat up with sulfur and everything, or oil and gas. You bring it in here, and if you don't know the rock, you do more damage than good. Some rocks, they don't, when you heat them up, nothing happens to them, but when you bring them inside the sweat lodge and you pour water in them, they explode. So we gotta know the rocks. We know the rocks. One rock we call the preferred rock is Wismay, obsidian. If you can't find Wismay, then you go to Pogcache, which is flint. Flint is, they used to make arrowheads, but it's also used to make fire.
So it's going to go to the next question here. How can we support teachers with Indigenous ways of knowing and being?
Well, we can probably include in their university courses or whatever courses they're teaching some kind of a cultural orientation, or let them know about Indian ways to understand our people better. Because that university professor, even though she was many years education, she had the nerve to go say Indians had no concept of math and science, and I tried to get a hold of her, touch her, and text her, tweeted her, emailed her, everything. She ignored me after she knew I wanted to sit down and talk to her. Because I wanted to show her the math and the science.
I think another thing that would be helpful might be exposing them to land-based learning and also to ceremonies like the pipe ceremony.
Yeah.
I noticed a lot of teachers were really grateful that they got to be part of our pipe ceremony, because then they learned about it, and not only that, but they also had that personal connection to what was happening in the ceremony.
Yeah. Well, this curriculum change is gonna make things a little bit better for us, but also, I think in their schools, when they build the schools, they have to accommodate what they're doing in incorporating indigenous knowledge. To do that, you have to have a place where kids can go to, like a cultural, where you can smudge and have an elder there, or even, not even an elder, but at least a person that will get in touch with elders if the kids need it. Yeah. So they have to make accommodations for a cultural room and pictures of our people. A lot of our people they made history, but none of it is like Jim Thorpe, one of them. And Ira Hayes, code talkers. In sports, in boxing, in rodeos, a lot of things, our people were never acknowledged. And we've been scapegoats for too long.
So you're talking about creating indigenous space within a school. It's probably a lot like what Ben Catherine School has done here in Edmonton, where they have a dedicated cultural room,
Yeah.
where they do their teachings within that space. And further to that, they start every day with the prayers in Cree language,
Yeah.
and they sing the flag song. So they've really taken an effort to incorporate a lot of teachings within
Yeah.
their routines.
Yeah. So.
Jamie, can you think of anything else that we wanna talk about, or is that?
I think that's good.
That's good. Okay, well, thank you so much. We have so much footage here.
Yeah.
And we have to break this down into